So the idea for the film had come about from a few elements, but one of them I was fortunate enough to do a bit of brumby chasing up there when I was a kid, and riding through the high country chasing wild horses certainly was something that stayed with me. And I remember riding back, and we came through this small town called Omeo. I remember looking at this town, looking at the facades, and thinking, wow, I mean, this looks like a Western. So Red Hill came about from, I guess, passionate about Westerns, and there's certainly revenge Westerns, and drawn to that genre, and thinking, well, why haven't we told a modern day Western? What's the difference between now and back then? The difference is we have cars and mobile phones. But if you look at these landscapes, and you look at the facades of these old boom towns, and what they used to be, it felt like, well, what if you told a modern day story in that landscape? And what if the bad guy that had come to seek revenge had taken out the communications? Then you're isolated. So it taps into that classic horror genre in a sense. So Red Hill was sort of a mixture of I was inspired by films like High Noon, High Plains Drifter, and certainly No Country for Old Men was another big influence.
Bill, look, I don't want you to start sweating, but we've lost contact with Cooper.
I sort of had this vision when I was writing the script. I just thought, what if there's just a guy walking through an empty, a small empty country town with a sawn-off shotgun, and there's something really creepy about that. They're really quite creepy at night time, and I was drawn to that in the script. It was, these towns, when you stand in the middle of Main Street on a Saturday night and you can't hear anything but the wind rustling, and it's dead quiet. And all the street lights are lit, so there's all this dappled light and the old Western frontage. And I thought, that's a pretty potent image right there. There's shootouts, there's gunfire, there's fires, there's prosthetic limbs getting blown off, there's car chases, there's horse stunts. So it was overly ambitious from the very beginning. So I knew that going into the production, I knew that my role as a director was going to be one of managing compromise.
So we just need that intensity of the looks up, yeah? All right, and we'll just go through the whole motion.
The actual production was a really high-risk venture because we made the film without a distributor. We made it without government finance, and we shot the whole movie with private investment. So if we got to the edit stage and we couldn't sell the film, then it was basically a write-off. So we set out to make the film for as little amount of money as we possibly could, and we shot it on second-hand film stock. And I pulled in every favour using all the crew I'd worked with over the years in commercials.
Speed, 315
and we had 4 weeks to shoot the film.
See what he's doing? He's waiting for us.
Go flank on him, Bill. What do you want to do?
We're moving.
This production was blessed to have the cast that we managed to get on board. And it's really difficult at this budget level because all you can give to them is, you've got a script, but I haven't made, this is my first film, so they look at your commercials reel and they look at your shorts and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, you've got to sell your passion to them as well.
I must say, I'm from Australia, obviously, but I'd never heard of Omeo before this, and now that I've been here, it's certainly a place that I would love to come back to.
So we were very fortunate to get actors like Ryan Quanten and Steve Bisley and Tom Lewis. And you've got Ryan Quanten, who's a huge rising star in the States.
How are we doing today?
Attention all positions. Look, we've just received word that Conway's getaway vehicle's been found abandoned in Winston.
He was committed from the very beginning to get on board and to be a real team player and really believed in the project.
I told Pat from the beginning I was willing to sort of go the whole 9 yards, because with a character like this you have to be willing to put it on the line and put yourself on the line and do it. What the hell's going on here?
You tell me, son.
Having Steve Bisley on set was a huge coup because he brings such a wealth of knowledge and wisdom.
What, you disagree, Inspector?
We'd be having a different conversation if you were dead.
And it's the same with Tom Lewis, who plays Jimmy Conway.
This is something that all black actors in this country is going to go, I wanted that role. But you haven't got it. I got it. I spent 3 hours on the makeup chair. My double had to do a lot of all my long shots.
And we just put the skin on that for the time being and just keep it down till we need it. Now we're starting to colour the edge to slowly start blending it in. So yeah, it's taken me an hour and a quarter just to glue it onto his skin.
Ready to go and have some action, isn't it?
Yeah, load the shotgun.
The interesting thing about shooting in these towns was that we were on Main Street. We're having shootouts, like we're having car chases. We've got horse stunts and all these elaborate things going on in the middle of Main Street. But the beautiful thing about these towns is they're dead quiet. You know, you stand in the middle of these towns and you look up the streets as far as the eye can see, and there's no cars. There's no cars parked. There's no one there because you've got this infrastructure, but everyone lives on properties outside the town. You know, your actual amount of people that actually live in the town itself is very small. What's incredible about small country towns is you can get a lot done for very cheap. So that certainly benefited our budget level, but also, the town were really supportive. So we'd go and get things, it seemed like everything would cost us a slab of beer. Guys would do things for a slab of beer, Oh, we need a truck to drive through this shot. Oh yeah, it'll cost you a slab of beer. So it felt like we were paying everyone in slabs of beer.
Okay, fire up.
There was a bonding between everyone on set because we felt like we were on this adventure all together. And no one knew we were shooting. We're up in the high country shooting this small movie. And, when you're challenged with such a short shoot, that it felt like everyone just got together and said, we're going to make this a team effort.
I think the tougher that it got, the tighter the crew got, and sort of we all got through it together. We all sort of manned up, and it's been a really kind of life-changing, positive experience.
This is a big stepping stone. You see, there's a lot of cultures in the country, and we are responsible for all the cultures in the country. And therefore, when we respect one another, we can do stories from those different campfires.
Where the fuck are you? You know nothing about this town.
I know the law.
You're not the law in this town. I am. This is my town. My town. I got Jimmy a chance, but I know. He wanted to be a hero. And for what? Huh? Bones in the fucking dirt!
Jimmy. Jimmy! What we're making, that it could be something special, that, you know, that we could be on the verge of something that could redefine Australian film and the particular Western genre that I know Pat's going for. So that in itself has been really good to witness.